In previous discussions, I've identified standardized testing as one of the elements behind the college ready writing gap. And I'm not down on standardized testing completely. I think we'll always have a need to be able to compare student performance across populations and across geographical areas. But where the skill of writing is concerned, standardized testing has not been beneficial to students. And why is that? It's because the stakes of standardized tests are so high that it only makes sense for teachers and schools to spend writing instruction time preparing students to perform on the tests. And the writing that they do on those tests is not authentic. It's not the kind of writing they're going to be asked to do when they get to the college classroom. The standardized tests impose a set of artificial conditions on a student that serve the needs of the test more than they do the needs of the student. Students traditionally, at least before the pandemic, were herded into a large area gymnasium, seated in rows, isolated from each other, prohibited from interacting with each other, given a standard prompt and a strict amount of time in which to respond to that prompt. Those artificial constraints serve the test because in order to be valid, the test needs to be administered consistently across students and across locations. Test security is a concern there. Test companies don't want their prompts to be leaked so that some students see them before the test because that invalidates the test. And also, especially for writing, a performance task like writing, administering the test and scoring it are extremely expensive. And so students aren't given an opportunity to do an extended piece of writing. The time it takes to do that, to do authentic writing, to plan, to do some research, to think about, analyze that research, arrive at a position, defend it with evidence, reasoning, to revise your work, to polish your work. None of those authentic tasks are amenable to a standardized test and the conditions under which those tests are administered. So what about the argument that, well, the writing that a student produces on a standardized test is just a proxy for what they will be able to do in an authentic context, in a college classroom? Well, that's like saying, essentially, if you're a good student, you're going to be fine no matter what. If you're a good enough student to produce a piece of writing under these conditions, then we can assume that you'll be able to produce a good piece of writing under authentic conditions. But as a student, if you've never been trained to do any of the authentic activities, any of the activities that underlie an authentic writing project, then that's not a very valid assumption to make. If you enter the college classroom and for the first time you're asked to generate your own ideas and come up with your own topic to write about, and do all the research and all the analysis and all the revision and so forth that goes into an authentic piece of writing, you've never had any experience doing that, standardized test preparation hasn't prepared you to do that, then it can't be assumed that you know how to do that when you get to the college classroom. Standardized testing, writing for a standardized test also ignores the fact that learning to write is largely a social activity, that to learn to write, you need to interact with other people. Teachers and other students. You learn to give feedback, to get feedback, to get ideas from other people, to bounce your ideas off of other people. It's a social activity, and writing for a test includes none of that. It also seems to me that there's a faulty assumption underlying the standardized writing test, which is that writing as a construct can be separated out from reading We know from authentic writing activities that you can't separate writing from reading. Whether you're doing research, whether you're responding to a piece of literature, or just reading your own work through the eyes of a reader, so that you can anticipate questions and meet the expectations and needs of your reader. Writing and reading are so integrated that you can't really separate them out. Nevertheless, that's what a standardized test aims to do. So there are many reasons why standardized testing undermines efforts to prepare students for the kind of writing that they're going to be encountering in college. And in order to get more students ready for college, we need to find more opportunities to give them experience with authentic, extended, research-based academic writing.